But we'll go ahead and, this is a very easy section, okay? So, you know, it's not that bad. The two worst sections we've already been over. We've done the two worst sections. This is probably the second easiest. The first section is the easiest. That's why I have y'all on. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah. What are you doing on the laptop? You're not doing math because you're typing, so you're not doing math.
Because I can't. I'm pulling up My Labs Plus, thank you.
Well, why are you doing My Labs Plus?
Is that not what you do? For your class?
When are you supposed to do homework?
I'm not doing homework, trust me.
Well, that's the only thing that's on My Labs Plus.
I opened it up in this class, though. I just want to look at the dates on there. Jesus.
To make sure you haven't put anything off to the last minute?
Exactly, because I have work tonight. Jesus.
Anyway, let me go back and there you go. We're going to be construction frequency distributions. A frequency distribution is nothing but a table. So you need to mark through frequency distribution and you're going to construct a table. That's what it means. Again, the frequency distribution is a 25-cent word for a table. A histogram is a 25-cent word for a bar chart. And frequency polygons are a 25-cent word for graphs. Why we got all these 25-cent words? Do y'all remember me telling y'all that a statistician is somebody that couldn't get a math degree? Well, they kind of inflate their definitions and their terms to make their science seem a little bit more what? Complicated / important. So they call a table a frequency distribution, and they call a histogram a bar chart, or bar chart a histogram, and a regular chart a frequency polygon. Does everybody see where I'm going with this? They use a lot of inflated words. Okay? A piece of data is a single response to an experiment. If I ask you if you're above the age of 20 or below the age of 40, that is a question. A question can be an experiment. An observation can be an experiment. It depends on what you put into the experiment. An experiment of a mouse in a maze, that's an observation. When you put cheese into the maze, that's an experiment. What's the difference in an observation and an experiment?
Observation is what you see.
You just see it. An experiment is when you interject something into the observation. All right? How many of you know shock collars for dogs? That's an experiment. If I just watch a dog and it barks and runs away freely and does whatever it wants to, that's an observation. When I put a shock collar on that dog and shock it every time it barks, that's a what? That's an experiment because I am controlling something. Okay? Some of you that know people that are controlling, you know what the word control means. In other words, they have the control. All right? Question. A frequency distribution is a table. We'll see that in just a minute. You're going to look at it and you're going to go, why do they call it a frequency distribution? It's just a table. All right? A number of children per family is recorded, 64, blah, 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 construct a frequency. Okay, here's the data. Everybody see that? Everybody sees that there's a bunch of numbers there. So how many zeros are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 zeros. There's 8 ones and 8 plus 1 is 11 ones. There's 8 and 18 twos. Okay, everybody get the point? Okay, here is a frequency distribution. A frequency distribution is nothing but a table. You've got your classes on the left, or your categories on the left, and you've got your head count on the right. But we don't call it a head count when we're a statistician. we call it a frequency. It's a head count. You don't have to say head count. You can just say count. One of the problems with probability and statistics for students is they use these inflated words and the students don't have any idea what the heck they're talking about. Especially if you've never seen probability and statistics before. Fortunately, some of y'all have had probability and statistics, so you're more familiar with it. But if you've never seen it, when you see the word frequency, you think of something a radio does. Okay? But all it is a head count. Capiche? Now, let's write this down because it's very important. And I need to turn on my handy-dandy whiteboard. I don't know why I didn't turn it off from the last class. What is it? What?
Nothing.
Why are y'all being so rude today?
We aren't.
Yeah, you are.
You're just nosy.
No, the reason I'm asking you is you shouldn't be talking while I'm talking.
Yeah, we're talking about this.
Well, you should be talking about the test before or after class. This is what we call the class or the what? The category. Now, what's the difference in the class or the category? A class is when the designations are mathematical, meaning they are qualitative. Qualitative means mathematical. Categories are when they are non-math, meaning they are quantitative. I'm sorry, I got past acronyms. Qualitative. Qualitative. Quantitative and qualitative. I'll give you an example. Qualitative data, blonde, brunettes, redheads. Okay? Quantitative data, weights. Think of it like this. Boxing and wrestling. Not wrestling, but wrestling, you know, the real thing. Okay? Boxing and wrestling. What do you have in boxing and wrestling to divide the boxers and the wrestlers?
Refs.
Huh? No. I mean, if I weigh 270 pounds
Weight class.
and somebody else weighs 130 pounds, I can't wrestle that person. What do you have?
Weight classes.
Weight classes. Remember that. Weight classes. That means qualitative data. That means numbers that mean a mathematical subject or mathematical amount. Blondes, brunettes, and redheads. Can I calculate blondes, brunettes, and redheads? No. So that's a categorical. That is qualitative data. I don't know why we haven't talked about that. That should be in 12.1, but maybe it'll be in another section. Maybe it'll be later on in this section. Okay? And then, of course, the right-hand side is the head count. Now, the only thing I'm going to test you on here is I'll give you a table like the previous slide, like that, and I'll tell you to make a head count, make a frequency distribution. Okay? So there's a test question. Given a table, make a frequency distribution. So there's a test question. Okay, 8 families had no children, 11 families had 1 child, and 18 families had 2, and so on. Note the number of frequencies, blah, blah, blah. The classes, okay, we're going to get into this in just a minute, because the best way to show you this is to actually show you an example and put the definitions out beside it. So hold on just a second, and we'll get there. Here we go. I want you to write this down because you're going to be asked this on a test or a standardized test. here are your classes. Let's say that over here, I don't know, maybe it's just Friday. I don't know what it is. Classes and head count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right. Here's your classes. Now, you're not going to have these with categories because categories are blonde, brunettes, and what? Redheads. Or blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes. Or I don't know, male and female. Zip codes, area codes, social security numbers. All those, they're not mathematical. Ages are mathematical. So, this side is called the what? Lower class what? Limit. This side is called the upper class limit. If I want to find the class width, I subtract two corresponding lower class limits or two corresponding upper class limits. How you do that? What's the class width? Class width, just pick two. 5 minus 0, 9 minus 4, 10 minus 5, 19 minus 4. 14. What are all those? I'm asking y'all, what is 5 minus 0, 9 minus 4, 10 minus 5, and 19 minus 14? Y'all don't know what 5 minus 0 is? 5. So the class width is what? 5. This is a test question. Make sure you know how to find the class width. Now, I can't subtract 29 minus 9 because they're not corresponding. They have to be right next to each other. What is the class boundary? The class boundary is the number that's between the class width, or the class of lower class limit and upper class limit. Here, if you got a whole number, you go to the what? To the tenth. If you have tenths, you go to the hundredth. If you have hundredths, you go to the what? Thousands. Example. What is between 4 and 5? 4.5. So here's the class boundary here, 4.5. And the class boundary here is 4.5. And then what's the class boundary of 9 and 10? Okay, now you can calculate all those, or you can just add 4 to each one. 5, because the class width is what? 5. So what's 5 plus 9.5? 14.5. What's 14 plus 5? 19.5, and so on. 24.5 and 29.5. Now, what if this was a tenth? What if I had 4.1 here? Then that would be 4.09 or 4.09. You could use 4.05. You could use 4.055. What if it was to the 10th? Then I would carry it to the what? The 100th, and so on. Most of the time in here, I'm going to just do these two. The 10th and the whole number. I'm not going to test you on anything. And then the last one, now what are the most important here? This one is the most important. Be able to find the class width and be able to find the second most important. It's called the midpoint. Midpoint is the lower class limit plus the upper class limit divided by 2. So 0 plus 4 divided by 2 is equal to what? 2. Now just add your class limit. This one's 2. What's 2 plus 5? 7. What's 7 plus 5? 12. What's 12 plus 5? 17. What's 17 plus 5? 22. What's 22 plus 5? 27. So what can you tell me about the class width? What can you tell me about the class width? It's very important. It'll save you a whole lot of calculations. Okay? You can make all those calculations, or you can just make one calculation. Here's the class boundary. And here's the midpoint. And just add the what? Just add the class width to each one. See? And that makes life a whole lot easier on your calculator. Question on that? That is a test question. Next. Where's the rest of the class today? Nobody knows? Okay. 46. Now these are to the tenths. Now if these are to the tenths, what are we going to use as a class boundary? The hundredths. So if these are to the tenths, what is, well, you got to put them in order first. So I hate putting these in order because I always forget one. So let's go with, where's the lowest one? 31.8. So I'm going to put 31.8. And I've got to put them in order before I do anything. I don't even know what the directions tell me. But that's 31.8. What's next? 35?
35.
35.5. What else?
39.8.
39.8. Y'all go ahead and be putting them in order. And I'll try to put them in order. 39.8. That's that one. 40.3 and 40.9. 40.3, 40.9. 44.6, 44.7, 45. 40, thank you. 44, 40, those three. 44.6, 44.7, 45.8, 46.5, 48.8, and 50.7, and 52.4, 53, 56, 65. 53, 56, and 65. Now, first of all, what's our lowest number?
31.
So you would probably, your lowest number is 30, 30-ish. Your highest number is 65-ish. So your highest number is probably, so you know that your numbers are between 30 and 70. So you might want to start with a graph, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and so on. Okay? That's what I would do if I was putting this in order. I would put it in a class width of 10. 20 minus 10 is what? 10. So that's what I would do. Now, of course, this, I don't know what they're going to do, but it says, following set of data, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if they do a 10. Okay, they're doing, okay, the first class is 31.5 through 37.6. So they're setting up a little bit different. So rearrange, and there's what you end up with. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is if you see, our class boundaries are going to be based on the 10th. So what did I tell you? If the class boundary is to the, I mean, if the classes are to the 10th, what am I going to go to?
100.
I'm going to go to the 100th. And if they do that, there's the modal class. I don't care about that. The class mark of the first class. Are they not? Okay, they're going to give you all this stuff, and then they're not even going to do it. Okay, they're not going to do it. And they're going to go to histogram, which is a histogram of, okay, they don't, I don't like these slides. You're not going to do all this. There's a histogram, but they're not. I'm going to show you how to do that on an Excel spreadsheet. And there's a frequency polygon. What? Good gracious. There's a polygon, which is a dot plot. That, okay, forget this. We're going to go to a spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you how to do all this without having to go through. That's just too much. I didn't know those slides were that goofy. So let's go to an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to tell you how to do all of this on the Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to make it big enough to where y'all can see everything. So here we go. And no, you do not have to use the Excel spreadsheet. I'm just showing you because I can get all of it on one board. So let's say that we've got the following data. 10, 10.2, oops, 10.2, 10.5, 11.5, 11.6, 11.9, 12, 12.3, 12.6, 13, 13.5, 15, 15.6, 18, 18.3. I know I'm skipping several. 20, 21.3, and 26, 26.7, and 30. Okay, so we've got all those, and now I'm going to make it smaller because you can't see all of them. So hold on a second. All right, that should be close right there. All right, so there's my numbers, and my highest number is 30. My lowest number is what? 10. Now, if there is no directions on the graph, then I'm going to tell you just to do a 10-point scale. So that's going to be 0 to 9. Oops, I can't type. And then 10 to 19. And then 20, really, to 29. And then 30 to 39. And that would be my classes. Let me change this. Hold on. Format cells, text, 10 to 19. There. Okay. Everybody with me? And now we're going to count. 0 to 9, we don't have any. So that'd be 0. How about 10 to 19? 10 to 19. How many we got? We'll color those yellow. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What?
How do you change that where it doesn't do
Do what?
the October thing?
Right click on it and go to Format Cell and change it to text. Okay, how many we got from 20 to 29? We've got 4. So we'll color those blue.
You said do what after you do
format cells, and then just click on text, and it'll just change it to words. Text is the same thing as words. 4, and then 1. You have just made a frequency distribution. Got it? Okay, let me go to it here. Go to here.
On mine. And I don't see where text would be.
Okay, watch. Right, format cells, and click on text.
I'm on.
No, that's how you're on font. That's where you are.
I didn't click on
Up here, number,
it.
and go to text. There should be a tab up there called number. You don't have it?
No, every time you click format cell, it just goes to that.
Huh. Let's see. What kind of? Oh God, this is an apple. Here, I don't know how to work on no apple. You got to figure it out yourself. I don't mean to sound sarcastic or smart, but I don't know how to work no apple. That's what I tell my daughter and my son. Here, you wanted it, you deal with it. Okay. Anyway. All right, now what's the class width here? Let's write down the information. The class width, this is what I will test you on. Somebody tell me what the class width is.
9.
What's 10 minus 0? What's 20 minus 10? What's 30 minus 20? 10. Midpoint. Well, I'm going to put the midpoint over here. I'm going to call it X. You'll see it called that in Math 120 and Math 103. Okay? What is the midpoint? The midpoint is your upper limit plus your lower limit divided by 2. So equals, parentheses, 0 plus 9 divided by 2. And I'm going to add 4 to that. I mean 10. What's 10? My class what? Class width, Hubert, equals this plus 10. And
Now, where are you getting 10 from, Hubert? Because that wouldn't work for the 0 to 9.
I didn't say 0 to 9. How do you get the class width? How do I get the class width? What does my note say? Lower class limit minus the lower class limit of the previous. So that's 29 minus 19, 20 minus 10, 30 minus 20, 39 minus 29, 10 minus 0, 19 minus 9. You got it, Miss Woodward?
Yes, sir.
Now, Miss Woodward just asked a question that I get in 120 and 103 all the time. They think, or some people think, that you have to subtract 9 minus 0. That is not the way you find the class width. If you really want to know the class width, let me show you this trick. Count from 0 to 9. All right, here we go. We're going to count from 0 to 9. Everybody ready? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many numbers?
10.
There's 10 numbers.
So don't count the 0.
You see that? There's 10 numbers there. So what is the class width from 0 to 9?
10.
10. Don't subtract this. Don't subtract 0 to 9. That is a common error that students make on the class width. Do not count 9 minus 0. You count what? 10 minus 0, 19 minus 9, 20 minus 10, 29 minus 19, 30 minus 20, 39 minus 29. All of them should equal what? 10. So that is a very common mistake students make. So what's the next one going to be? Next, what is the next midpoint going to be? Okay, y'all not going to talk to me now? Listen, everybody's entitled to a bad day. All right. So there's your midpoints. Did you fix
It
it?
just came up, and then it didn't fix it, and now when I actually go to the box, it won't come up.
Well, I wish I could help you. Is there any Apple people that can help her? She's
Now
trying
it's coming
to.
up. Now it's coming up, but I don't know.
Okay, well, let me put class right here. And this is head count. I refuse to call it a frequency because that sounds like something a radio does. So I call it a head count.
Got it.
What you have to do?
You have to right click it. You have to go to like in home and then format here. And if you just click it like one mouse,
There it
it's
is.
just coming up. Yeah.
Okay. All right, what else do we need? We got the class width. We've got the midpoints. So I'm going to highlight this because this is things I will ask you on a test. So I've got the midpoints. I've got the class width. Class boundaries. Well, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put class boundaries. CLASSBOUND. Okay, class boundary. Well, I'm just going to find the first one. Is 0 to 9, is that whole numbers or decimals? That's whole numbers. So whole numbers go to the what? The 10th. So that's going to be 9.5. And then I'm going to add what? What am I going to add to the first class boundary? Can y'all hear me? Okay, we're just going to sit here and be quiet. Easily, I didn't mean to scare y'all when I threw my little temper tantrum. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody in the class. Y'all still ain't going to talk to me. Okay. Miss Woodward, you're mad at me too, huh?
No, I'm just trying to figure out where you're getting the class boundary from because I wrote it down, but I still just I don't get it.
Okay, what's after 9? And what's between 9 and 10?
9.5.
There you go. Since it's whole numbers, there's only one number between 9 and 10. What's
So
the
then
only
the next one would
amount
be
of
19.5?
19.5? You add what to the, what do I add to the, what did I add to the midpoints?
Upper class, hold on.
Class what? The class what? Width. What am I going to add to the first, what am I going to add here?
10.
Class width. Now you can calculate each one if you want to, or it's easier just to what?
Drag it down.
Drag it down. Oh well. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be equals, I didn't do the right cell. This number plus the class width. There we go. Now copy it down. Oh, I gotta highlight. Hold on a second. This is some Excel stuff you don't need. There we go. Lock. Now I can do it. There we go. And there's your class boundaries. So I'm going to highlight those.
What do you have to do to make it where it'll do also?
You have to, when you click onto the cell of the class width, you have to lock it with F4. Fox 4, F4. That locks it.
I'm not.
Oh, well, yours is an Apple, so you probably have to climb on top of a building and stand on beside your head and give Apple $5, and then you'll be able to do it. Okay, easily, questions? Miss Woodward, questions?
Negatory.
Easily, why are y'all so quiet? Y'all usually not this quiet. Well, Miss Woodward's usually there. Miss Woodward's not talking now, so.
What are you trying to say?
Y'all just be quiet. I get mad and y'all quit talking to me.
Yeah, every time I talk, he just blows off.
No. You have talked in this class 2 or 3 times when I asked you questions and I did not get mad at you. When did I get mad at you?
When I was talking to her.
When you were talking when I was what?
No, you weren't talking then.
Oh, okay.
I tried to wait till you weren't talking.
The reason I was not talking is because I was waiting until you got through talking. Okay, next. Anybody got any questions? Y'all all got it, no problems.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Golly, y'all the first class that I have to go over one time and everybody's got it. Okay, I must be doing some good work. Now, that is what all those slides were trying to show y'all. Let me show you one more thing. Trick I learned in the war. All right? Now, you got these classes right here, and you've got this. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on an Excel spreadsheet. And it's probably not going to do it because it's got dashes here. What if I called these all text? I bet that would work. Text. Okay. There. Now, I'm going to highlight these two, and watch this. Go to Insert at the top of the page. Go over to the dot plot, and you can pick whatever you want. If you want that, that's what it looks like. If you want a dot plot, then you can add chart, you can do all kinds of things. But that's what it looks like. So make sure I'm going to highlight these two, yellow, and I want you to put, sometimes you may ask to graph those sections. Capiche? I'm going to call this one A, B, C, and D. I was hoping it would change it. It's not going to change it. I'll have to. Why is it doing this? Damn Russians. There. So let me redo it. Let me delete this. Delete. Where's delete? Cut. There. Now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to go to Insert. There we go. It's still picking up. I don't know why it's picking up A. It should be picking up A, B, C, and D. I don't know why it's doing those. Who knows? But that's what it looks like. All right? Now, let me just tell you this. If you don't know what I'm doing and you would like to know more, because I'm going to tell you, Excel spreadsheet, there isn't a profession that you go into that you don't use the Excel spreadsheet in the office. So if you don't know what I'm doing, you need to take CPT 170. Because that is a good course to show you how to use Word, Publisher, Excel. And I'm not talking Word, how to write a paper. I'm talking about how to use these programs to save you a lot of what? Work. Okay? All right. That's basically 12.2. I'm going to go back to the, I know it's time to go. I know. I'm going to see if there's anything. Make sure you can do a pie chart. We're going to go over that later. This is all 20%. Okay, we're not into the math yet. The math is going to be when we start talking about the mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, standard deviation, and variance. When we get to that, that's 80% of the test. Right now, we're still in 20%. So I want you to read 12.1 and 12.2. And make sure you can send me the questions. You'll probably have a couple of questions on 12.2, but send them to me and we'll go over them Monday, right? Is that when we come back?
The homework's not open yet.
Okay, I'll open them. I'll do that because right now, don't y'all have to get out of here or y'all just going to start convulsing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and turn the recorder off.